Fat Grandma here. It is April 6th at about 1:45 in the morning. I wanted to record this video on Easter and wish everyone a happy Easter, but as you can see, that did not happen. However, my opening image is Easter themed because I made that early yesterday while I was still working on everything. I have been, as you know, very lacking. I've been slacking, whatever you want to call it, where my videos are concerned. You guys know, if you've been around, why that is, because with everything that's going on in the world, I kind of feel like talking about my stuff isn't really that relevant, but, I know that you guys still want to see what I'm selling and all of that. So, no ride with me footage this time. This is just going to be the solds, and I've got eBay and Facebook Marketplace. And again, if you haven't been around, the Facebook Marketplace sales are items that I've had listed in my eBay store, or one of the items was on Poshmark for a long time, and I may have put it on eBay also. I don't remember, probably. Anyway, I didn't sell these items on eBay, and they were listed on there with the exception of a couple pieces of jewelry. I did not try to sell those on eBay, but the other things were listed for a while and did not sell, or they were under a $10 price item, and I just sold them on Facebook Marketplace because I'm trying not to list things that are under $10 in my eBay store. It's just, for me, because I'm such a small seller, if you have a lot of quantity in sales, if you're generating 20 or more sales a day, then it's easier to sell lower priced items because you have numbers in your favor, and it adds up. But if you're only selling a handful of items a month, it doesn't work out. It doesn't make any sense for me because I have to buy the boxes and the bubble wrap and all the other stuff, and I've got supplies sitting. I used to sell a lot more, but I've just been whittling down my store. I do have an auction that I bid on some stuff, and of course, all the stuff that I really wanted, I've been outbid on because I'm being a cheap ass. And so the only things that I still have bids on that are active that I haven't been outbid yet are things that I really don't care about getting. And this auction is up in Cincinnati, so I have to drive up there. So if I only win like one item or one lot, I may just say screw it and let them keep it, because I don't know if it's going to be worth it to drive up there and pick up one lot if that's all I win. Do you know what I mean? And the car is doing another thing, because all the things that have been going on aren't enough. I think I've mentioned before that it acted like it was going to overheat and it was out of coolant. And I don't know if I told you guys about that or not, but refilled the coolant, and then this past, last week, I checked it and it was empty again, or almost empty. And so that means I have a leak somewhere in my, between the radiator or the that reservoir, where the coolant goes, or in the thermostat, somewhere where the coolant, somewhere in the line that the coolant runs through, there's a leak. I have to try and figure out where that leak is. I hope it's not at the thermostat, because if it is going to cost too much for me to even bother getting it fixed. Anyway, I don't want to be driving the car up to Cincinnati with a coolant leak. Do you know what I mean? I can go places close by, keep coolant in the car. It's not cheap. So, because it's like somewhere between $10 and $20 for a bottle, the regular size bottle of coolant. And I have to get a specific kind. It has to be the orange kind, I think, orange or yellow. As I was reading with my certain specific car, Anyway, So yeah, I can't go driving too far away, um, because I don't know, because the light has not been coming on to say that, I'm out of anything, and I can see the temperature gauge starting to move, and that's when I know it's low on coolant. So I've got to get that figured out. I've got to see where it's, if I can, they've got this dye that you can buy to put in your system so that I can try to figure out maybe where it's leaking from. If it's back by the firewall, then it's the thermostat. And it's not just the part that's costly, because the part really isn't that bad. It's the labor, because of where it is and everything that they would have to take apart and put back together. It's the labor that would end up costing me. And I already have no AC for this summer because I'm not spending $1,200 or $1,300 to get that fixed. And now that won't keep me from driving the car. That just makes me miserable when I drive the car, but I'd still at least have access to my car. This issue has to be fixed because you know, it means me not having a car at all. So I've got to get this taken care of. Anyway, that's enough about my personal crap. Um, I don't think I'm going to talk about any of the political stuff in this video. It, it's it's still too much. It's too much, and again, every day it's something new. First thing I'm going to do is tell you about my Facebook Marketplace sales, or not Facebook. I'll tell you about eBay first, and then I'll go into the Facebook ones. If I forget what I'm talking about and say the wrong word, just ignore that and know that I meant what I'm talking about. I forget sometimes, I get mixed up. Um, anyway, okay. And I'll talk a little bit. There was something I wanted to tell you guys about. I'm going to do that at the end. Um, it's nothing important. It's just something I've figured out that works well for me, and it might help or work well for others. So, all right. So the first item I sold on eBay was a bundle of 2 vintage balsa wood wheat straw house trinket boxes. I picked these up at an estate sale. I don't know, a month or two ago. It's probably been a couple of months. I can't keep track of time lately. Anyway, the cost for those was about $3. I sold them for $15, and the buyer paid $10 in shipping. I'll break down everything when I get to the end. There's not that many eBay, and it's been almost a month since I did a sold video. I'm so bad. Anyway, but it's because I really haven't had that much stuff, so we'll get there. Next item I sold was 2 Corningware Sidekick baking / snack dishes, and they were white. Those sold for $12, and buyer paid $6.83 in shipping. The next item I sold was the that large brown bear cookie jar that I picked up at a yard sale. I want to say last summer, toward the end of summer, I think. Anyway, I paid $4 for it. It sold for $16, and the buyer paid $14.71 in shipping. It was big, and what a pain in the butt, but it got there in one piece. This buyer, she sent me a message on eBay, and in depth described how I should pack this thing. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me, And I told her, I said, look, if you read my reviews, the comments that people have left for me, you will see that most of them mention what a great packing job I did, and that their item arrived safely, and blah blah blah. So it gets on my nerves when people do that, and I understand, because she said she'd had, I don't know how many of them arrive broken, and it's like, okay, you're probably exaggerating, but I know what I'm doing, and if something that I ship gets broken, somebody was trying to break it. And that, I'm just going to say that, because I pack stuff so well, it has to be intentional. Anyway, again, sold for $16, and they paid $14.71 in shipping. And let's see, the next item I sold, and I picked these up at a yard sale here this past summer, was 4 resin wine grapes wall plaques, and you'll see pictures up here in the corner. Um, Again, I had them on eBay. Nothing happened. They sold for $10. Oh wait, I'm on eBay. I'm talking about my eBay sales right now. I relisted them on eBay because they didn't sell the last time I had them listed. And I put them on Facebook and I put them back on eBay, and they finally sold the second time I listed them. So they sold for 10, and the buyer paid $6.68 in shipping. The next two sales were the same item, and I did free shipping on these only because I just wanted to get rid of them. I purchased these from Walmart. It was NAC dietary supplement vegetarian capsules. There's 100 capsules. It's an antioxidant. Anyway, I ended up not taking them. I never opened them, nothing, and I was going to return them. And I went online to do the return through Walmart, and they said just keep them. I have no use for them, so I stuck them on eBay because I saw other people were selling. They still sealed, no expir. I mean, they weren't anywhere near the expiration date. So anyway, they both sold for $14 to different people, and the people did not pay for shipping. So I don't know what I paid for shipping. It doesn't matter because I lumped all my shipping fees together. So we'll get to that anyway. So I sold both of those. I'm glad I only had two. And the last item I sold on eBay was two vintage Lefton bridal party flower girl figurines. They were about 3¼ inches tall. These I picked up at that estate sale where everything was on the shelves. All the collectibles kind of things, little trinkety things, were on the shelves anyway. So, and that lot has been long ago paid for, and I've been in the profit for quite a while. Anyway, they sold for $9.96, and the buyer paid $6.46 in shipping. And that is it for my eBay sales for almost a month. I think I'm like a week shy, no, 5 or 6 days shy of a month since my last batch of sales that I did a video for. So anyway, my net after the shipping costs that I paid was $70.63, and my cost of goods was about $12. So my net, and that's not including boxes and bubble wrap and stuff, is around $58. So I'm going to say 50, because of the boxes and the bubble wrap and gas, you know what I mean? So I made about $50 over the past month on eBay. Okay, so on to Facebook. And I had 16 sales on Facebook since my last video. These are in no particular order. I just have the thumbnails here I'm looking at. So the first item was a small lot of spring and Easter miniatures. There were 3 of them, and I just threw them together. They sold for $5. Really cute, but like little tiny things, you know. Anyway, 5 for those. The next item I sold was nautical wooden shadow boxes, and it was a long, you'll see a picture up here in the corner. Anyway, those sold for $5. I started them at 10, and if things don't sell within a week, I start marking them down on Facebook because I just want to get rid of stuff. So they ended up selling for $5. The next item I sold, and this I had listed on eBay, never even got looked at, and I sold it within 3 days of listing it on Facebook, but I only sold it for $5, was a Love My Dog wine bottle holder. And I think it looked like stainless steel, but I don't know if it was, and I didn't advertise it that way, but it's gone. And it was big, and it took up a lot of room, and it was obnoxious, so I'm glad it's out of here. The next item I sold was a marble apple with a brass stem, and it was really cute. I picked it up at a yard sale last summer. That sold for $5. I don't know if I said that already. The next item I sold was a McCoy pottery wishing well. These used to do a lot better than they do now. On eBay, they sell for anywhere from $8 to $10. So I marked it at $5, and I got rid of it in just a handful of days. So I picked it up at an estate sale, and I had a bunch of other stuff, so I have no idea what I paid for it. probably right around $3. So I didn't make much, but at least I made my money back. So I'm okay. The next item I sold was a pair of Minnie Mouse 0 to 6 months patent leather shoes. Super cute. I got them at a yard sale last summer. I think I paid $1 for them. Anyway, they sold for $5. The next item I sold, and this was some of the jewelry that I got from that person that had their ex-roommate had been a reseller on eBay, and they had all their crap in the basement, and so they were in with all of that stuff. I didn't really pay anything for these, so I sold them for $5. They were stainless steel rainbow magnetic clasp bracelets, and they were the clasp themselves were stainless steel. The bracelet was leather, so they were kind of cool, you know. But anyway, and it didn't take long for those to sell. And the next item I sold was a Studio Nova wired votive candle holder. It was about 5 inches tall. I do not remember where I got it at. I think an estate sale, but I'm not positive. Anyway, it sold for $5. Most of the things sold for around $5. There are some things in here that sold for a little bit more, which is good. Next item I sold, and this sold this morning, like bright and early this morning. It was a modeled brass vase that I picked up at a yard sale last summer. It sold for $7. And when I say sold today, I mean Easter. The guy messaged me. I snooped. Anyway, it sold for $7. I snooped because I don't get very many guys buying from me, and I was trying to figure out, like, who is this person that's buying a vase on Easter? Because I put my stuff outside, so it's not like I have to deal with anybody. I don't mind putting something outside and making some money, you know. But I think he was going to the cemetery with flowers. I'm not sure why he would have bought a vase, but I snooped, and he had something on his Instagram. His mom passed away in February, and I figured he might be going to visit her for Easter. I don't know, and I don't usually dig very much. If it's a guy, though, I'm more cautious. Even though I don't come face to face, I don't want to give the address out. You know what I mean? Unless I'm sure of who they are, or I have a good feeling, or they've been very friendly. It just depends. But anyway, so I couldn't figure another reason someone would be buying a vase that early in the morning. It was like he came by here at 8 o'clock this morning, so, or yesterday morning now, since it's 2 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Let's see. Okay, enough of that. The next item I sold was was 9 2-packs of Minnie Mouse stress balls, and I also got these from that woman that had all the stuff in her basement. I sold them for $10. A teacher contacted me. I looked her up because I wanted to see if she was telling the truth. She teaches kindergarten, and she has a little store that the kids they earn points or whatever, and they can buy things from the little store. And so she was putting these in the little store. So I gave her a couple of other things that I had that I was just going to donate, and that were for little kids, you know. So I threw those in her box and a few stuffed animals that were in really good shape. So, because she said she gives kids all different kinds of things they can buy. Anyway, I sold those for $10. The next item I sold was also $10. It was a Hearth and Hand queen sheet set, brand new, still in the linen, or in the bag that has the little tie top. I think that brand sells at Target. Anyway, I had the sheets listed for less than 2 hours, and I had 2 people contact me about them. And one lady was coming right over to pick them up. I sold them way cheaper than they would sell on eBay, but I didn't want to mess with shipping them on eBay. They're heavy. It would have cost a lot for shipping, and I got rid of them, and it was very fast. So that was good. And $10. And I don't even think I paid anything for them. I can't remember where I got them, but they've been, I think, in that person's basement. Because it was the only set of sheets she had. Because the person that used to have the eBay store that was her roommate used to get things from the bin store. So that could be where this came from. I think it is. The next item I sold, and I lost money on these, but I had them for so long. They came to me from Arizona. It was a pair of vintage art glass swans. They were really pretty. and I think I paid $12 for them at a thrift store. They sold for 10, so at least I got most of my money back. They were listed on eBay forever. I split them up and I was selling them separately. I tried putting them together. I tried everything to try and sell these, and they just would not sell. So I put them on Facebook, and it didn't take very long. Honestly, maybe a month for them to sell. So it wasn't horrible. The next item I sold was a Tree of Life boho leather cuff mom magnetic clasp, like a bracelet, but it's like a cuff because it was wider. You'll see pictures. Uh-oh, camera's freezing up on me. I don't know why I have nothing else running on the computer right now. This was in with the stuff that came out of that person's basement that had a roommate who sold on eBay. Anyway, it sold for 10. And she's the same person the person that bought that also bought those stainless steel rainbow clasp bracelets. So that bracelet sold for 10. I sold, there's only 3 more things. Stupid. I don't know what's going on with this camera or with my computer. I didn't do it last time, whatever. Anyway, the next item I sold was a $10, but sold for 10. It was a vintage illustration, cat family driving in the car by Bertha. I can't remember what the last name was. I searched so much online to try and figure out who the artist was for this image, and it was an old frame, and it had old backing on it. I mean, you could just tell it was old. It was probably in the 40s or 50s. Someone got it as a gift from a friend, and they wrote on the back even in pencil, who they got it from. Anyway, it was cute, but that was also in that estate sale lot that I got that had all the knickknacks. It was up on the shelves. So $10 more out of that estate sale. That estate sale was totally worth what I paid less than $20 for all those things. Nobody else, one other person bid, and they gave up. And I've sold so much stuff out of that lot for good money, You never know. You've got to really look at stuff in the pictures when you do the online auctions. The next items I sold were a lot of Easter Kmart figurines and an Easter tree. Sold for $12, and they were really cute. I'm surprised they didn't sell on eBay, but they did not. So I just moved them over to Facebook and sold them for cheap. Somebody else got to enjoy them just in time for Easter. Let's see. The last item was $12, and it was a teakwood 5-piece salad bowl set, and I think I spent $5 on it at a yard sale. So 12, not horrible, and I didn't have it for very long. I didn't even bother listing them on eBay because they were heavy. And they were going to take up a lot of room in a box. I would have had to use a huge box, and I just didn't even want to go there with the shipping. The way shipping is right now, it's so expensive. People don't want to spend it, Anyway, so all of my Facebook sales came up to $121, and my cost of goods was right around $30. So I made about $90 on my Facebook sales for the past month, almost a month. So once again, I made more on Facebook, but I'm not getting, the profit margin is very small if there's any profit on the Facebook stuff. So, but at least I'm able to sell some of it and make some money back. I've still got 2 boxes in the car that I need to take and donate. But I don't know when that's going to happen because of the, coolant leaking issue. So I have to get that figured out. Maybe tomorrow if it's not raining. I don't think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so it's going to be chilly though. But if I can go out and see if there's still water in the reservoir, then I'll know that it's only leaking when the car's running. If it's been losing the coolant while it's been sitting, because I haven't driven for several days, then I know that it's not happening while it's running. So it's not the operating that's making it happen. It's just leaking somewhere while it's sitting, which could be the reservoir, which would be the best thing because I could buy another reservoir and I think I could put it in myself. It doesn't look that complicated. So if it's the reservoir that has a leak, and it's plastic, and this car is 2007, so after being in Arizona all those years, it would make sense that there might be a little crack in it or something, you know. I have to cross my fingers that it's the reservoir, because that will be the cheapest fix of everything else that I saw anyway. So we will see. Okay, so that is it for my solds. And I don't even know how long I've been talking. Almost half an hour. I know some of you like the longer videos, so but I'll have timestamps too, so you can skip ahead, skip around, whatever. So this is a little bit of oversharing, which I do frequently here. You guys know I'll talk about my health stuff. I don't really shy away from that. Anyway, instead of Metamucil, and you all know what that's for, I've been getting this from Walmart. It's the Daily Fiber. It's the Equate brand. I get this giant 2 heaping tablespoons is what I'm doing now. You kind of have to work your way up, but this stuff works so well. And they do have capsules, which I also bought, because when you mix this stuff, if you haven't used this yet and you need something that works to keep your pipes cleaned out, or help with that, this stuff works really well. But if you mix it in your water and you don't drink it right away, it turns into congealed slime looking stuff, and you can't drink it without feeling like you're gonna barf, because it's nasty. I mean, it's just the consistency is so gross. Anyway, I do not like the capsules. They do not work as good, and you have to take like 5 or 6 of them to be the equivalent of the 2 tablespoons of the powder. The only thing that I'm not crazy about is it's got an orange flavor, which is fine, but I mix it with my flavored vitamin water and a little bit of orange juice, because that makes it a little bit better. But you have to okay, I'm going to tell you how I do it. So I drink most of the water out of my vitamin water bottle, and so I'll wait until there's a little bit of water, of the flavored water, left in there. Then I'll pour a little bit of orange juice in. Orange juice for me can sometimes be too strong, like it's almost too tart. So when I cut it with the vitamin water, it helps. And then you're adding the orange flavor too. Anyway, I have a little funnel thing, and I pour the powder into the water, put the lid back on, and that way you can shake it up like crazy. You know, shake the shit out of it, and it mixes it up much better than screwing around with a spoon or whatever. And drink it right away, because if you let it sit for even 5 minutes, it starts to get thick and disgusting. So, and the colder the liquid is, the better. Like it doesn't congeal as fast if the water is super, super cold. So if you can throw an ice cube in with it, that helps too, and keeps it from getting thick too fast. So anyway, I just thought I would share that with you guys in case anybody was curious or they've never used Metamucil before or anything like it. And if you have a health card with your insurance company, where they give you a certain amount each month that you can spend on health things that you need, like allergy medicine, like I get my Zyrtec with it, and I can use it for my daily fiber stuff. So it covers that too. So it is helpful. All right, I guess that's it. I want to be more consistent with my videos, but okay, so this one other thing, that is not it. I was wrong. I've been wrong many times. If you've been around, you know. I have been so sidetracked with the AI video stuff and trying to get it to work right. The photo room is the software that I've been using for my photos, to remove the backgrounds and put a nice background in or whatever. But I didn't feel like spending $80 on it to renew for the year if it wasn't going to include the AI video capabilities, which it wasn't. They've changed their pricing structure. And if you want the videos, if you want to be able to make the videos with that software, it's like 3 times the price. I can't remember exactly. It's way more expensive though, to be able to do the videos. And it wasn't great with them all the time. Like it was hit or miss. So I started looking around and I found another website and I tried it and I thought that it was going to work for me. And I went ahead, they were running a special. It was like half off. It was 50%. It's Open Art AI. And it's crap. And I'm so pissed off. They didn't have it because I figured out within the first 4 days of using it, it blew through my credits because you get a certain amount of credits each month when you have a subscription. And I blew through my credits in less than a week because the videos were not turning out like I wanted them to. And it wasn't the descriptions that I was giving them or the prompts that I was using. It was the video that was being produced was like the car was driving the wrong way and on the wrong side of the road. And I kept trying to let it know where the car needed to be with the prompts, and it just was not getting it. And it kept making the faces all funky. And it, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be able to use it for. Maybe photos now, replacing the backgrounds. But I did. So I've been screwing around with that, trying to find other software that I could use to make my videos. And you'll see the clip at the beginning of this video I did by using two separate things. I used the free version of Photo Room to create the image of myself with Simon in the park looking, kind of like a tree with grass area with Easter eggs. And so I used Photo Room to create that image. And then I put that image into, what's it called? Oh, it's the Microsoft Designer Image Creator. And they give you, you can either do images or you can do video. And it's an 8-second, I think it's 8 seconds, the video that it'll spit out for you. Anyway, I put the image that I made in Photo Room into this other AI software. And it took a few tries, but it doesn't cost me anything. They give you a certain amount every day and for free. And if you go over that amount, then they just render way slower. Because right now my settings are for them to render, the priority is fast. And that's with your free ones that you get. Then once you've used those up, it goes slower and it can take hours before a video will render. And they're only 8 seconds long again. But I was able to use that image that I created in Photo Room for free and put it into, which essentially it's Bing. It's the Bing website, but it's Microsoft. Anyway, so I was able to make the video for this video, the opening part for this video for free. Didn't cost me anything. So I wasted my money on that stupid AI software. I'm pissed. And there's no way to get it back. And they're in another country, so they don't even speak English, and I don't know. And that's probably why the website doesn't work like I need it to, because it doesn't understand English completely. Do you know what I mean? Because the people are, I think it's China. And they speak English, but not like we do. So, that could be where the problem is. I don't know. But this has consumed so much of my time. It's not even funny. Me trying to find software that I could use that would work the way I wanted it to and wouldn't keep spitting out crap videos for me, Anyway, so we'll see how it goes in the future, but this is what I'm going to try to do moving forward, just the short little clips at the beginning. And, if I have time and if they turn out okay, if not, you'll just get an image and that'll be it, for the thumbnail on my videos. But okay, that is actually it now. I'm done. It's almost 2:30 and I want to try to get this edited and uploaded before I go to sleep. So I have to get busy. I hope that you guys had a nice Easter if you celebrated. I hopefully will see you guys soon. It's probably going to be some garage footage and possibly ride with me if I go anywhere close to home. I might try to record until I can figure out what's going on with the car. So I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.